Hey, how's it going, people? Welcome back to our channel. It's some more Arsenal transfer news, transfer updates, discussions, opinions, and all that good stuff. Hope everyone's had an amazing Friday. Weekend is about to kick in, basically, in a way. And everyone's ready to relax a bit, of course. Euros are happening, football is happening, ironically enough. Some interesting games, some shock results, of course. And England is just in the bin fully. Surprise Southgate isn't sacked mid-tournament like Ivory Coast did in AFCON, and then they won the whole thing. It was wild. Maybe England should try something like that, who knows. But today we are having some chances about players leaving potentially and players coming in potentially, so that is a dub in general. It's a very up and down transfer window for Arsenal in general. Nobody knows really what's going on. There are numerous reports about genuinely countless players. It feels like, according to reports, we have signed about 60,000 people and 60,000 players have been rejected and everything. And I genuinely think that besides Arteta and Edu, nobody knows what the hell is going on. Maybe some team they're talking in silence, but definitely we have no clue, and no journalists have any clue what is going on. But anyways, there are reports. We're gonna talk about it, discuss the players in general, how they could fit in Arsenal if the deal happened. And maybe some players as well who will potentially be leaving, opening room for other players, of course, maybe making some extra profits to sign maybe some bigger players. So like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. And we're kicking things off with Kieran Tierney, who on Wednesday, got injured in a game against Switzerland. It was 1-1 draw, and Tierney got carried off on a stretcher. Results are out after the scans and everything. And basically it's a massive hamstring injury apparently, and again it's a hamstring injury, and it looks like pretty damn bad. He won't be featuring obviously for Scotland. His season is over in a sense, and he will be back in a way nobody knows exactly when. But that definitely puts a hamper on his career, his development, and of course on Edu and Arteta, because Tierney was one of the guys on near top of the list for Arsenal to sell, to maybe make some profit. No, not make some profit, basically get off the books. Because let's be real, if we want to make some profit, we have to sell him for about 30 million. So to make some profit, so it is what it is. But yeah, selling an injured player is never easy. Everyone knows that Kieran Tierney is actually a very good player. He loves defending, so he's a great defender. Left back, center back, preferably left back, of course. He can cross the ball very nicely. He has decent pass on him, and he can overlap and do things nicely. If you need, he can stay back, slot into left center back spot and 3 at the back. So he definitely can do the job. We know that. The biggest issue, of course, for many clubs and for players in general is the durability, ability to avoid injuries. And Kieran Tierney, unfortunately, is lacking in that department. So selling him will be a tough call. It will be very interesting what's going to happen, because he spent last season alone at Real Sociedad. Let's see what's going to happen with him during the summer. But he is definitely one of those players in the books to be sold. The question is, can Edu pull it off? Moving on to coyg Duberry, which news came out today, a thing that kinda, not gonna lie, hurt me a bit. Because England Youth International attacking midfielder / winger Amadio coyg Duberry has told Arsenal he is leaving the club after the expiration of his contract at the end of this month, according to Evening Standard. Basically, he was very highly rated. He was talked about as the next Bukayo Saka, but let's be real, he has to get to that level still. I don't think he's near in that discussion, but he was showing a lot of promise. He was doing amazing things, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make into Arsenal's main squad, which basically is the biggest reason why he's leaving. Because according to reports, was because but he turned it down. He basically turned down the offer, the proposal for the deal, as there were no guarantees he would feature in the plans of manager Mikel Arteta going forward. And unfortunately, this Duberry thing is really frustrating me, because I strongly believe that this will be another Serge Gnabry situation, where he got promoted, he played odd game here or there, then he got loaned out to Hoffenheim, to somewhere else, in the end he got sold to Werder, and in the end he now plays for Bayern Munich and was one of their main guys going forward at the moment. So I definitely believe this could be another situation with coyg Duberry. And to just show that how highly rated he is, here it is. coyg Duberry is no short of suitors, with clubs from Belgium, France, Netherlands and Germany monitoring the situation, Well, he has offers from England too, with Premier League and Championship sides keen on him. That is the thing. Obviously, he's 19, so he definitely wants to play, which is obviously coming to standard, and he definitely would want that. But yeah, it just shows how highly the player is rated, because if you let player go, many times lower end teams pick him up. Let's just say League 2, let's just say Scottish League, and something like that, right? But if you have offers, potentially clubs monitoring you from Belgium, from France, from the Netherlands, mind you, I definitely believe that one of those clubs could be like Feyenoord or even Ajax. They could just chuck him in and see how it happens. Germany, there's definitely could be another Germany team who just takes him and just grows him as a talent and then just sells him for big bucks. I strongly believe that will be the situation. And the thing is, Amadio is very exciting and Mikel likes him quite a bit. Wilshere told The Athletic. The thing is, yes, he reminds him of Bukayo Saka, but yeah, Coyg Duberry, here is the big one. Coyg Duberry bagged 13 goals and 5 assists for Arsenal under 21's last term and ended his time with them with 18 goals and 10 assists in 48 games. So basically 28 points in 48 games. That's more than half a point per game. He was one of the main guys. He was doing amazingly well. But unfortunately, it was impossible to give him proper game time. And that is the biggest thing. I don't know if Mikel Arteta said, yes, we're gonna resign you, but we're gonna loan you out, and then we're gonna see in a year or maybe 2. Maybe Arteta didn't offer him that, maybe he did, who knows. But by the looks of things, he wants first team football, he wants to play consistently, and he definitely has the quality to do that. If he wants to really do that, he definitely should go to like Belgium or Netherlands, and then he definitely could be there. Depends what Bundesliga side he goes to. Maybe he goes to, let's just say, this will sound crazy, but Borussia Dortmund, they know they sign young talent and they just loan them out to lower end Bundesliga sides, Bundesliga 2 top sides, and then go from there. And he definitely would fit in nicely. For example, St. Pauli just came up. St. Pauli just came up, I think it was. Yeah, St. Pauli just came up to Bundesliga. Go to Borussia Dortmund, loan him out to Bundesliga, to St. Pauli. Easy, job done and dusted. Rayo Miyachi played for St. Pauli at some point, remember that? So it will be interesting to see what happens with him, wishing him the best of luck, but I'm not gonna lie, this situation came today as a shock and it kinda hurts me as an Arsenal fan a bit. Moving on to some reports that are coming out of Turkey. Basically, Arsenal have made 17 million bid for Fenerbahce fullback Ferdi Kadoglu. Apparently, according to rumors, it was rejected. Now, this is, you have to take this with some grain of salt, because if you recall, either it was in January or early June, when there was reports that Arsenal bid 22 million, something like that, and basically they said it got rejected. But actually, if you dig it a bit deeper, if you checked some sources a bit more, there was no bid, apparently. So I don't think this bid has happened as well. Because definitely, if you want to bid for a player during Euros where his team is fighting for going up, it could be a bit of a tough one. Now, Fenerbahce definitely doesn't want to sell him, because I read numerous reports from Fenerbahce, not themselves, but the league reporters, especially that Jose Mourinho really likes the guy and wants to keep him no matter what. So definitely, if Arsenal want to sign him, they will have to pay a bit over the top, I would assume. But definitely, Arsenal are in a need for a left back, in my opinion. Getting Ferdi Kadoglu would solve that. For Turkey, he looked very, very good in the first game. We'll have to wait and see the second game. I think it's tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Yeah, it will be very interesting to see how this happens. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but it will be interesting because the reports are coming out of Turkey, and many times when reports are coming out of Turkey, you have to take it with some grain of salt quite a bit in these situations. Here's some positive potential news. According to Football Insider, West Ham and Nottingham Forest have made contact with Arsenal over a potential deal for Reece Nelson. Sources have told Football Insider, but it's believed that Brighton are also interested, so 3 good clubs are interested in Reece Nelson. Arsenal value Nelson between 25 to 30 million. Obviously, he just re-signed a contract, so that makes sense that Arsenal would ask a bit more, because if he had a year left of his contract, it would be about 15 to maybe 20 million. But yeah, he's English, so he's homegrown. Obviously, he puts up the quota. And Lopetegui maybe would take him at West Ham, especially they might be preparing for selling Kudus. I'm not sure yet, because there are reports that West Ham might be forced to sell Kudus to get some money for actually to get Lopetegui to sign players he wants, because it doesn't look like anyone wants to buy Paqueta with the potential charges he might be getting about betting and everything. But we're not gonna get into that. And I was about to make a separate video just about Mohamed Kudus, how he could fit in Arsenal, about how he could play and everything. My thoughts on that. Let me know down in comments below. Would you be excited if I made a video? Would you be interested, basically, not excited, but interested if I made a video just about Mohamed Kudus? But yeah, Nottingham Forest also a place where he could go in and potentially be even a starter instantly. Yes, they have some wingers here or there, but definitely he could be a good one. Brighton is an interesting one because Mitoma was injured. Reece Nelson is a right winger. Jesse March, it would be a 50-50 there. But the proper suitor in this instance would be West Ham, especially if Kudus leaves. They have Bowen there though, so you will have to kind of wiggle with that around the place. However, the perfect team to go to in this instance was either Nottingham Forest, where you most likely will get a consistent minutes, or Brighton, because they're kind of good at developing players and then just selling them for big bucks. So it will be remains to see what's going to happen with him. But Arsenal value him about 25 to 30 million. And in this instance, despite the fact that he's mostly remembered by that goal against Bournemouth, and he almost didn't kick a ball this season, I would say that's a fair price, especially with the new contract he just signed and everything. So hopefully Arsenal can actually manage to sell some players, and Reece Nelson being one of them. Even if they do, best of luck for him in the future. Let me know how you feel about this down in comments below. Well, since we're talking about players going out, Sevilla contact Arsenal to sign want-away midfielder. Now, Sevilla showing interest in midfielder Albert Samuel Lokonga. Unfortunately though, it's only on loan. That is the big one here, because Lokonga himself said after the season that he is gonna go away. He wants to get sold and everything, so that comes a bit of a shock. And he's now looking to a new project to join, and from Sevilla reports wants him to sign on loan. They have a massive lack of depth in midfield. I'm not gonna lie, since I've watched La Liga, it is a bit questionable, as you said, the lack of depth they have. But in this instance with Sambi Lokonga, if this deal starts to pick up some momentum, right? I don't want to see loan deal, that's it. I want to see loan with obligation to buy. None of this what if stuff. Just loan with obligation to buy. Because player has said himself he wants to get the hell out of the club. Because let's be real, he's not getting on midfield. If you do that, and if you want that, then loan, obligation to buy, and we're done and dusted. Because it doesn't look like anyone's gonna buy him full on. So maybe loan with a bit decreased value, because the loan they have to cover some of the wages. Maybe they can manage something there. And then obligation to buy. No ins, what's, buts about it. Edu, you have to do your work finally. You have to start selling players with obligations to buy, with sell-on clauses and all that stuff. Straight up. You need to do that, because every single team in the world, top teams, are doing it. Arsenal are doing none of that. I legit... Was last year or is it this window? I heard Real Madrid, yeah, right? They let some player go. They sold some player some years ago, and then now this year or the last year, it was 4 years later, that player is being sold to another club, and they're getting about 15% from the value to them. 5 years later, it's an investment. They got it back. So yeah, if Arsenal are loaning out Sambi Lokonga, I want to see obligation to buy. None of this what ifs and nothing, and he comes back next summer. Because if he wants to leave, make it happen. So 2 more players to talk about for today. Nico Williams. Arsenal and Chelsea have Nico Williams on their wish list. Now, if you watch the game against Italy, he was absolutely cooking them. Di Lorenzo didn't just... Genuinely, how Nico Williams was cooking Di Lorenzo was like Martinelli was cooking the Sevilla right back when we played at Emirates. Same situation basically. He did just unplayable. He should have scored a goal, the header. He hit the crossbar and everything. Nico Williams was sublime. Now, don't let it fool you. In La Liga, he doesn't look as good. He looks, I would say, 7 out of 10 maybe for the season. Genuinely. But yeah, there might be some player there. He's basically similar to Martinelli, I'm not gonna lie. Now, the thing is, for me, when I have seen him at his best, it's when he plays at the left wing, not right wing. And if we buy him as a backup for Saka, it's not gonna work. So that will be interesting if he joins, how it would work. The thing is, Arsenal and Chelsea both have Nico Williams on their wish list. If Arsenal decide to go for the wide winger, industry sources say Williams has release clause in the region of 55 million euros, 50 million pounds. However, there is additional stuff to this. Barcelona also want Nico Williams. Barcelona, though, we know have that, so they have a massive issue. Barcelona cannot afford his signing, and as things stand, as they first need to fill a 130 million hole in their accounts before the end of the month. So basically, once July 1st hits and they haven't done that, they're screwed. If that's fixed, then Barca will need to make significant sale considering a signing of this magnitude. Basically, what this means, they want to sign Nico Williams, they need to sell Rafinha, for example. And that's why they have some players on the market, they're looking to sell them, move on. But nobody wants them at the moment. It will be very interesting how this goes, how this develops. No wonder the Faye, that center back from young team, once is on the market to get sold as well. So we'll have to wait and see how this develops, how this goes. Will Arsenal actually sign at the end of the day Nico Williams, because they have been linked with him so much in the last few days. It feels like it's being overdone and spoke about it too much to actually be real. Because there is that thing when some situations get overhyped, more chances than not that it's not gonna happen. Basically, as people used to say, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So this might be one of those situations. And the last one for today is Thomas Partey. Saudi clubs interested in Arsenal 21-year-old but won't move yet. Now, obviously there is some significant interest from Saudi in the 31-year-old Thomas Partey. Now, if you're asking why they are not paying anything, basically Fabrizio Romano has shed some light on this. Where was it? Was it? I think it was Fabrizio Romano who said this. I need to find this now. Yeah, here we go. Fabrizio Romano reports in his daily briefing that there has been interest in Thomas Partey from Saudi Arabia since last summer. Nothing concrete is happening yet because Saudi clubs are still waiting to learn their summer budgets, and there won't be any movement for Partey's case until those budgets are approved, obviously. And for time being, in the interest of discussions with the players, not just Partey but in general, Casemiro, Alisson, Ederson, you know the drill, are only verbal and nothing more. Basically, they are just talking, scouting situation until they find out how much they can sell and how much they can afford. Because there is this thing, there are some clubs being promoted into Saudi League, right? Recently, I read that they got promoted and they're already ready to spend about 150-200 million. That just shows how much money they are pumping into football to develop it. So it will be very interesting to see how this develops. Does Partey leave? And if he does, well, by the looks of things, he will leave. Just the question is when and for how much. We will need to find a replacement. And to be honest, if you ask me, we should have found and already signed a replacement before he leaves. Let's be real, because until they find out the budget, there's a big chance that we already will be somewhere in preseason. There is a big chance of that. And then just yanking player out mid-preseason and then trying to find someone to replace him mid-preseason when everyone's already almost fit and ready. And the gap between that preseason till the season is about 2.5-3 weeks. So that is not enough time, because we know how slow we are doing transfers, to actually get a player in, get him accustomed to the team, to tactics, to manager and everything. So we better act quickly. Anyhow, those are transfer rumors for me for you today. Let me know down in comments below what you think, how you feel about them, how you feel about Reece Nelson, Nico Williams, Sambi Lokonga. Let me know that down in comments below. Take care, stay safe, have a great weekend and enjoy football. Peace.